I was walking around the Criminal Minds set a few weeks ago, working on my Joe Montegna insults, when someone overheard me and they asked me when the roast was happening. Now, to be honest, at this point, I had no idea that a roast was happening. I like to compile insults about the people I work with in case one of them kicks me in the shin. And, too soon? And I gotta be honest, coming up with insults for Joe is incredibly hard. Unlike Kirsten, everyone in Hollywood loves him, and he's a great person, he's a great human. So I was racking my brain, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? When all of a sudden it hit me, a memory that I had blocked out of my mind. Something about Joe that you have never heard. About 5 years ago, Joe and I were heading downtown to have fur coats made for ourselves. And it's not a joke, it's reality. And I was backing out of his driveway when all of a sudden I heard dum-dum. I looked down, I inadvertently ran over a possum in his front driveway. I felt terrible. I could hear it squealing. I turned to Joe. I said, Joe, I just ran over a possum. What do we do? Joe looked at me, took a long silence, and he said, fuck that possum. I love Joe with all my heart, so it's impossible for me to roast him. So I need you to pretend that everything I'm about to say is coming from that possum. Joe, I looked you up on IMDb. You have been in 143 films. That is spectacular. That's like a film a year since the day you were born. And honestly, you've aged beautifully. You look like a California raisin that shops at Tommy Bahama. You know what else I love about you, Joe? You have thick, healthy hair coming out of your nose and ears. I didn't write these. The possum wrote all of this. Oh, I heard an ooh. I like that. But really, Joe, you're a versatile actor, very versatile. Did any of you ever see that film where he played an Italian guy? All joking aside, Joe has a Tony. I didn't realize you get that award just for looking like a guy named Tony. Impressive. And he's also he's multi-talented. He's an actor, he's a director, he's a writer, he's even a restaurateur. He's got a restaurant called Taste Chicago. Joe, I didn't realize Chicago tasted like shit. The possum. Honestly, no, Joe, this restaurant is great. They have a pizza. They're known for a pizza that's shaped like a heart. Now that's romantic, a heart-shaped pizza. Do you shape it like that because that's the type of disease you get after eating one? No, she did not like that one. Ian's wife did not like that one. And honestly, I'm making fun of his restaurant because I can't make fun of him. I love eating there. I go there a lot, and I eat there even when Joe's not around. But it always feels like Joe is sitting right next to me. And not only because his face looks like the wrinkled warm meat in the beef sandwich. It's because you're a star, Joe, and you have that presence. I can feel Joe when he's in a room. Oftentimes I can hear Joe when he's in a room too, but that's only because he doesn't know how to turn Pandora off on his iPhone. I looked it up. His last name is Montegna. It comes from two words. Man, which means man, and Tanya, which means who falls asleep while walking. Because I've worked with Joe for 11, 10 years, 12 years, I don't know, and I've seen him fall asleep in the weirdest positions. I've seen him fall asleep at tables, on chairs, on fake jets, and it's actually sort of fitting because his fans are notorious for falling asleep when he's on screen. It's a roast, right? Is it still a roast? Okay, good. My sister, it's beautiful. I'm going to change the subject from it. My sister had a baby 3 days ago. And this baby is so cute. I mean, he is so well behaved. He sleeps 19 hours a day. So she's thinking of naming him Joe Montegna. But he also loves to suck on women's boobs. So she's going to name him Kirsten Vangsness. That's my most proud joke, actually. Joe, you played Dean Martin. You did it wonderfully. You're now being roasted like Dean Martin. But when Dean Martin did these roasts, they were at the MGM with people like Frank Sinatra and Orson Welles. You are at the South Point with people like me. I can only assume the Best Western in Barstow was booked. I'm from Las Vegas. I can say this. I love Las Vegas. I love the South Point. Matter of fact, it has a very special place in my heart. When I'm driving home from Los Angeles and I see the South Point on the horizon, I know in my heart that this is my last chance to take a shit before I get to the strip. Did anyone see Godfather 3? Next joke. Joe, you have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Was it not enough just to have Thomas Gibson walk all over you?
Whoa!
Rewind that, take that one out. You know, Joe, also, you've 9 houses. That's an amazing, actually 10 houses, I think now. He and I worked with Shamar Moore for 11 years. That is so many closets for Shamar to come out of. Joe, you look a little bored. What's the matter? Did you just listen to a book on tape narrated by Joe Montegna? But in all honesty, guys, you know, Joe, very accomplished actor. He won a Tony for his portrayal of a character in the play Glengarry Glen Ross. Unfortunately, when they made the movie, they replaced Joe with Al Pacino. But don't worry, Joe got the last laugh. He once made Al Pacino eat at Tay Chicago. And, you know, honestly, though, Joe, you've had an incredible career. You've hosted SNL. You've worked with so many legends. You yourself are a legend. And I gotta know, what's it feel like to know that every Wednesday night at 10 p.m., millions of fans all over the world tune in just to watch me? That's everything the Possum wrote. I hated saying every one of those jokes. I had to do it for the Possum. Joe, I love you. I look up to you not just as an actor, getting a little weepy, but as a man and a person. And fuck that Possum.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely fucking brilliant.